Have you ever wondered why the nicest people you know are also the most miserable? You're doing everything right. You say yes when you want to say no. You bite your tongue when disrespect slaps you in the face. You accommodate, you compromise, you smile through the pain. And what do you get in return? You get ignored. You get walked over. You get used. You feel it, don't you? That simmering resentment beneath your polite exterior. That quiet rage you swallow every single day. Because you've been taught that being good means being harmless. That being kind means being available. That being respectful means accepting disrespect. Here's the brutal truth nobody wants to tell you. Your niceness is not a virtue. It's a prison. And the bars, you built them yourself. You're trapped in a performance. You've confused agreeableness with morality, and it's costing you everything. Your time, your energy, your self-respect, and worst of all, the respect of others. People don't admire your kindness. They exploit it. They see your smile and they hear, "Use me." They see your flexibility and they hear, "I have no boundaries." And the sickest part? Society told you this was the path to love, to connection, to success. Be nice. Be agreeable. Don't rock the boat. Play along. But look around. The nice people aren't winning. They're exhausted. They're invisible. They're serving everyone except themselves. 500 years ago, a political philosopher named Niccolo Machiavelli wrote something that got him exiled, hated, and banned by the church. He said, "It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both." The world called him evil. The world called him cynical. But the world also proved him right, every single day, in every interaction where niceness gets punished and power gets rewarded. Machiavelli understood something that you're just beginning to realize. The rules you've been following? They were written by people who benefit from your compliance. And the secret to freedom, to respect, to real influence? It's hidden in the most controversial sentence ever written about human nature. So let me ask you, are you ready to stop being nice? Because once you understand what I'm about to show you, you can never go back to that prison again. Let's go deeper. Why are you trapped? Why does niceness feel so automatic, so instinctive, even when it's destroying? You? Because you've been conditioned. From childhood, you were rewarded for compliance and punished for assertion. Be a good boy. Be a good girl. Don't be difficult. Share. Apologize. Keep the peace. Every time you stood up for yourself, you were labeled selfish. Every time you said no, you were called mean. So you learned to suppress your instincts. You learned to smile when you wanted to scream. You learned to perform. Machiavelli called this the false mask of virtue. He understood that most people don't act from genuine goodness. They act from fear. Fear of rejection. Fear of conflict. Fear of being disliked. So they wear a mask of agreeableness, and they call it morality. But underneath, there's a wounded child, desperate for approval, convinced that their worth depends on how little trouble they cause. And the predators, they smell it. The manipulators, the narcissists, the users, they don't target the strong. They target the nice. Because nice people are predictable. Nice people telegraph their weakness. Nice people will sacrifice themselves to avoid confrontation. And that makes them the perfect victims. Here's what Machiavelli observed in the courts of Renaissance Italy. The rulers who tried to be loved by everyone ended up betrayed and destroyed. The rulers who commanded respect, who set boundaries, who were willing to be disliked. They survived. They thrived. They shaped history. You think, your niceness protects you, but it does the opposite. It signals to the world, I will not defend myself, I will not fight back, I will absorb your toxicity and smile. And the world takes you up on that offer, every single time. This isn't about cruelty. It's not about becoming a monster. It's about understanding a fundamental law of human behavior that society refuses to teach you. Respect is not given to the harmless. It's given to those who have power and choose how to use it. Nice people don't have power. They've given it away in exchange for the illusion of safety. And that illusion? It's killing you. It's costing you your dreams, your boundaries, your self-respect, and your future. Because while you're busy being nice, someone less qualified, less ethical, and less concerned with your feelings is taking what should be yours. Machiavelli wasn't teaching evil. He was teaching reality. And reality doesn't reward niceness. It rewards strength. So the question is, how long are you going to keep playing a game where the rules guarantee your defeat? Here's the secret Machiavelli discovered, the one that made him infamous. Goodness without power is weakness, and weakness invites destruction. He wasn't saying you should be cruel. He was saying that virtue without the willingness to defend it is suicide. If you cannot enforce your boundaries, your kindness becomes exploitation. If you cannot say no, your yes means nothing. If you cannot be feared when necessary, your love is worthless. This is the process Machiavelli called strategic morality. It's the understanding that true integrity doesn't come from being harmless. It comes from having the power to harm and choosing when not to use it. A lion that cannot use its claws is not peaceful. It's prey. Let me give you an example from Machiavelli's own life. He served the Florentine Republic for 14 years as a diplomat and military strategist. He was loyal. He was dedicated. He was brilliant. And when the political winds shifted and the Medici family returned to power, what happened? He was arrested, tortured, and exiled. His niceness, his loyalty, his service, it meant nothing. The new rulers didn't respect his virtue. They saw him as a threat because he was competent, and a doormat because he had no independent power base. In his exile, broken and betrayed, Machiavelli wrote The Prince, and in it, he distilled the lesson that cost him everything. If you want to survive in a world of wolves, you cannot be a sheep. You must become a wolf who chooses when to show mercy. This is your path forward. It's not about becoming a tyrant. It's about reclaiming your power. It's about understanding that respect, influence, and peace don't come from self-sacrifice. They come from self-sovereignty, the ability to say no, the willingness to walk away, the courage to let people be disappointed in you. If this content is making sense to you, click the button and subscribe to this channel, because what comes next will change everything. This is the secret. Stop seeking to be loved. Start commanding respect. And respect doesn't come from agreeableness. It comes from clarity, boundaries, and the quiet certainty that you will defend what matters to you, even if it costs you relationships, opportunities, or approval. You're not here to be everyone's therapist, savior, or doormat. You're here to build a life that reflects your values, your standards, and your power. And that journey begins the moment you stop apologizing for taking up space. So how do you actually do this? How do you stop being nice and start commanding respect? Machiavelli's wisdom gives us 4 concrete pillars, 4 weapons you must master. These are not theories. These are actions, and they will be uncomfortable, but they work. Pillar 1. The death of immediate availability. Stop being so available. Stop responding instantly. Stop dropping everything for people who wouldn't do the same for you. Your availability is your currency, and you've been giving it away for free. Machiavelli said, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. When you're always available, you appear desperate. You appear low value. You signal that your time has no cost. Starting today, create friction. Let messages sit. Let people wait, not out of pettiness, but out of self-respect. Your time is finite. Your energy is sacred. And the people who truly value you will understand. The ones who complain, they were never your people. They were your users." Pillar 2. The strategic. Learn to say no without explanation, without apology, without softening it with 1,000 justifications. No is a complete sentence, and every time you say it, you train the world to respect your boundaries. Machiavelli understood that the promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present. Translation: Don't make promises out of fear. And don't keep promises that violate your integrity just because you made them when you were weak. Practice this. When someone asks you to do something you don't want to do, pause. Feel the impulse to say yes, then say, "No, I can't do that." No excuse, no elaborate story. Just a clear, firm boundary. The discomfort you feel is, your conditioning dying. Let it die. Pillar 3. Selective warmth. This is key. You're not becoming cold to everyone. You're becoming strategic. Machiavelli said, "Men are so simple and so ready to obey present necessities that one who deceives will always find those who allow themselves to be deceived." Stop giving your warmth indiscriminately. Save your kindness, your generosity, your energy for people who've earned it, for people who reciprocate, for people who respect you. When you give to everyone, your giving means nothing. When you give selectively, it becomes powerful. Be polite to everyone. Be warm to the few. This isn't cruelty, it's wisdom. Pillar 4. The cultivation of controlled unpredictability. This is the most advanced weapon. When you're predictable, people take you for granted. When you're unpredictable, when you sometimes accommodate and sometimes refuse, when you're sometimes warm and sometimes distant, people stay alert around you. They respect you because they can't manipulate you. Machiavelli wrote, "It is better to be impetuous than cautious because fortune is a woman, and if you wish to dominate her, you must beat and batter her." Yes, the metaphor is problematic by modern standards, but the principle stands. Aggression and boldness create respect. Timidity creates contempt. Don't be a robot. Don't be cruel. But don't be predictable. Let your responses depend on how people treat you, not on your desperate need to be liked. These 4 pillars are your foundation. They're how you dismantle the prison of niceness and start building a life based on respect, reciprocity, and power. Now let me be honest with you. This will not be easy. This will hurt. Because the moment you stop being nice, the world will punish you for it. People will call you selfish. They'll say you've changed. They'll accuse you of being cold, arrogant, or difficult. And here's the hardest part. Some of those people will be the ones you love, the ones you've been sacrificing yourself for. Because here's what they're really saying. You've stopped letting me use you. And I don't like, Machiavelli warned about this. He said, "Whoever desires constant success must change his conduct with the times." When you change, when you set boundaries, when you reclaim your power, the people who benefited from your weakness will resist. They'll guilt you. They'll manipulate you. They'll try to pull you back into the prison. You will lose relationships. Not all of them, but some. And that's not a bug. It's a feature. Because the relationships you lose were never real. They were transactions. They were based on your compliance, not your value. You will also face yourself. When you stop being busy pleasing everyone, when you stop hiding behind niceness, you'll have to confront the parts of yourself you've been avoiding. The anger, the resentment, the fear, the voice that whispers, "Maybe they're right. Maybe I am selfish. Maybe I should go back to being small." That voice is your conditioning, and it will fight for its survival. There will be nights where you question everything, where you wonder if you've made a terrible mistake, where you feel lonelier than you've ever felt. This is what Machiavelli called the necessity of appearing merciful, faithful, humane, religious, upright, but with a mind so framed that should you require not to be so, you may be able to change to the opposite. In other words, you will feel like you're betraying yourself, but you're not. You're betraying the false self that was built to keep you safe in a world that will never keep you safe. The dark night is real, but it's temporary. And on the other side, there's freedom. So what happens when you survive the dark night? What's on the other side of this brutal, necessary transformation? You become unrecognizable. Not to yourself, to everyone else. You'll walk into rooms differently. You'll speak differently. There will be a gravity to your presence that wasn't there before. People will notice. Something has shifted even if they can't name it. They'll test you, carefully, to see if the old doormat is still there. And when they realize you're not coming back, one of two things will happen. They'll either respect you, or they'll disappear. Both outcomes are victories. Machiavelli wrote, "Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand, for everyone can see and few can feel. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few really know what you are." When you stop being nice, you stop performing. And when you stop performing, your real presence emerges. It's calm, it's solid, it's unapologetic. You no longer need to convince anyone of your worth, because you're no longer asking for permission to exist. Here's what you'll notice. Opportunities will find you, because competence without neediness is magnetic. People respect those who respect themselves. Your relationships will improve. The ones that survive will be deeper, more honest, more reciprocal, because they're based on mutual respect, not one-sided sacrifice. Your inner peace will become unshakable, because you're no longer betraying yourself for approval. You're no longer contorting yourself to fit into spaces that were never meant for you. This is the rebirth Machiavelli understood. The man who can be both lion and fox, who can be fierce when necessary and strategic when useful, is the man who survives, thrives, and shapes his own destiny. People won't remember the nice version of you. They'll forget that person ever existed, because that person was a ghost, a performance, a mask. The real you, the powerful, boundaried, sovereign you, is unforgettable. So here we are. You know the truth now. You know that niceness is a trap. You know that respect comes from power, boundaries, and the willingness to be disliked. You know the cost, and you know the reward. The question is, do you have the courage? Because knowing is not enough. Information without action is just entertainment. And I don't make these videos to entertain you. I make them to change you. Machiavelli's final lesson was this: where the willingness is great, the difficulties cannot be great. You have everything you need. The only thing standing between you and the life you deserve is your decision to stop being nice and start being real. So here's your challenge. Here's your line in the sand. If you're ready to stop sacrificing yourself for people who don't respect you, if you're ready to reclaim your power and command the respect you deserve, if you're ready to walk away from the prison of niceness and step into your sovereignty, then comment below right now, "I'm done being nice." Not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, right now. Because that comment is not for me. It's for you. It's your public declaration. It's the moment you stop lying to yourself and start living as the person you were, always meant to be. And don't stop here. The next video is essential, because once you stop being nice, you need to learn how to fill the void, how to build a life based on respect, not approval. That's what we're covering next. So share this content, drop your comment, and let's continue this journey together. Welcome to the other side. Welcome to power. Welcome to freedom.